Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Southrn Magic Podcast. I'm your host, Matt, and join with me tonight, we have David and Will. Say hi, y'all.
Hi, I'm David, if you didn't know.
I'm Will.
I had to have a shirt change, actually, because I noticed on, like, the past, like, several episodes and on the streams, I have, like, 3 or 4, like maybe not even that many. I have like 2 or 3 shirts that I cycle through when I'm just like home and don't really give a crap. Like I have like several blue shirts. So I actually dug in my closet and found my Stranger Things shirt to wear. So I wanted to dress up for y'all.
I do the same thing with hoodies. Like I have a ton, like my go-to like lounging around the house wear is like hoodies and sweatpants or like loose fitting shorts or whatever, and I just have tried to cycle through all of my hoodies in this podcast. I think I haven't worn this one before. I want to say I have my Savannah State, my college hoodie.
I don't think so, actually. Yeah, I think that
I
one's
don't
new.
remember either.
I'm just wearing one of my work shirts. They let me just do everything collar, and I just didn't change. So
I almost did that too. I got off work and because this was the day I had to go into the office, so I was like, I might just wear like a nice button-down shirt. But I was like, nah. I got in and I was like, nah, that's coming off.
we ain't talking about anything too serious. We need to do one podcast where we're all dressed up in like suits and all that, and discuss like the My Little Pony secret lair or something like that. So,
that would be great.
That's all of the best. There's going to be a time for it where that's appropriate. We're not sure when, but there's going to be a time.
We should have dressed up like Fallout people, like
that would be dope, actually.
Yeah,
we're doing Oh, go ahead, David.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with the lore of that game. I've only played Fallout 3.
Okay.
And I didn't even play it all the way. I think I've just played like the first part of it. So when it comes to like Fallout, I have no idea what the actual lore of that game is, besides people were in a vault for like thousands of years. How long were they in that vault?
100? I don't even remember, actually.
Okay.
Well, the way that I've had it described to me is by my wife, who's a huge Fallout fan, is there's like 2 different flavors of Fallout. There's like the pre-Bethesda Fallouts. There were like top-down PC ones. Those are like really gritty and really dark. I mean, I guess it's kind of always been dark, but these are like super like The Road-esque dark. And then when they got to Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 in New Vegas, they kind of like lightened it up a little bit and gave it some humor and
some Pit Boys and all that.
I think that's primarily what they're going off of, is like the Fallout 3, Fallout 4 ones.
Do you know why the Pit Boy does every time like he's in something, he does like the thumbs up thing?
No, I have no idea.
I know that lore.
So,
by the way, for the listeners, Fallout is a part of Magic, so it is relevant now. It is a part of the lore now.
There will come a day when every IP you'll be able to say that, though, just to be fair.
Can't wait.
Oh, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but basically the thumbs up thing was if an atom bomb was to drop and it would cover more than your thumb, your radius.
That's right. Yep. I forgot that I'd learned that.
If the
that's why they're always smiling and they go, yep. It's because they're measuring to see if they're dead or not.
Yeah. If the mushroom cloud is taller, if you hold your thumb out and if it is above your thumb, I think it's that you're in the radius for radiation poisoning or something like that.
Okay. Yep. So I did hear that. That seems fun. It seemed like you had fun on last Friday.
Yeah,
last Friday where you were like going infinite with.
Yeah, I won't name the shop, but so one of the stores, they decided, it was the day that Fallout was coming out, and I decided, you know what, I'll buy a pack and see what I can pull. And I opened a bunch of stuff, and I was like, this is all cool, but it's mostly Commander stuff. Honestly, I was digging for a Wasteland because I needed like 2 for my deck I wanted to play, and I looked at it, and I'm like, this is $65 worth of stuff. Hey, store worker, are y'all buying these right now? And I fully expected him to say, no, we aren't. We're not doing that. It just came out because that's what every store does. Instead, they went, yeah, we'll buy them. And I go, oh no. I proceed to open 21 packs after spending $30. I go, $30 here, give me the pack, open it, put it back, open it, put it back.
Just pulling that lever over and over again.
Pretty much, I was like, all right, we go till we either get either all the packs are gone or we pull a serialized card. And we didn't pull a serialized card. And it just turned out that turns out when you're in the store for 5 hours, they kind of get sick of you, and they were ready to close at midnight. I was supposed to go meet up with David to go eat. My phone died. The last message I sent him was, I'm going to be here a bit. That was at 9. At 12 o'clock, I finally left.
Everybody in that store denied our invitation because they were like, oh, we got to get home to the wife and the kids. They were also at the store.
Yeah, they were doing the packs with
him. So at any point, they could have.
Ball and chain got me down while they're just packing packs with me. And
it would have made it home before they left, actually.
I ended up walking away. I had a stack full of the bulk they wouldn't take. I kept 2 Tarmogoyfs. Because why not? Because funny, haha. And then the other 2 pulled Wastelands, so I got those from them. So
nice.
For $30, I got 2 Wastelands and 2 Tarmogoyfs, which 10 years ago that's like $600. Now it's about $50, but
savagery.
Yeah.
Sure, savagery.
I need to get some of those Wastelands though. That's going to be the next
thing. It was good. I actually didn't need one of them. So if you want it, I'll just give it to you what I bought it from the guy. It was just $20, but we can talk about that off podcast.
Yeah, so I'd be down for that.
Nah.
All right. Well, that's really cool. I do want to dive into that. I want to dive into discussing the recent ban that happened this week. And you know what? It's funny. I feel like we've been going on this podcast for, I want to say, about 4 months, 3 or 4 months now, and at least on 3 of the episodes, including this one, we've talked about some big ban. So that's like an average of like a ban a month or something like that. Yeah. It's so crazy that this happens so frequently. I just had that thought. But yeah, so the news.
Yeah, I mean, with their new.
Good.
With their new schedule, like every time a set comes out, 3 weeks later, they're going to have, a ban announcement. They come out with sets so goddamn often now that
my favorite
that's kind of the standard that they've set.
Yeah.
My favorite thing was when they didn't make they made the announcement they were going to make a ban. Star City literally had the image of Violent Outburst over it. Yeah. And I went, we don't stand a chance, do we? So as y'all know, I'm a Rhinos player. I've been playing Rhinos for about 2 or 3 years now. It had it coming. It had it coming. There's no reason. I was telling people this. I'm like, it's 100% going to be Violent Outburst. They may ban like Grief, or maybe if they're feeling kind of, what's it called? Frisky or whatever. Yeah, maybe they'll ban like one of the Scion Draco, Leyline of the Guild Pack things or whatever. But I knew Violent Outburst had to go. There's no reason, not just Rhinos, but Living In can cast a spell on their turn with force backup in a modern format.
Yeah.
So because in standard or not standard in Legacy, you have Force of Will. You can get in a Force War, Days War, all that stuff. But it's literally, they cast their thing. You may try to counter it. They'll have a free counter. Their opponent, they don't have a free counter at that point. So it needed to go. It was too unfair. I will say though, like there's been a bunch of lists that have been posted, so Rhinos is already bouncing back, and I hope Living In stays dead. That deck needs to die. All right, that is the worst deck you can ever play. I played it for an event once. I had never touched the deck before. I came in 10th out of 80 something people. Okay, that deck is stupidly strong. All right, and I hate it. I hate that deck so much, and I'm so glad I can move Endurance out of my sideboard for now. Anyway.
Yeah, man. Honestly, Violent Outburst has just been super busted for a very, very long time. I thought that it should have gotten banned like a long time ago. Just having the instant speed. There's like no other effect like that in Modern. That just instant speed one card, you instantly win the game. It feels like that's what it, even with the Rhinos deck, it's like the fact that they're able to just have this tempo-y mid-range game and then at any point just like play one card at instant speed.
Yep.
And have 10 power, not 10 power, but like 8 power on board between two creatures.
Yeah. That was the thing that made Rhinos in particular so maddening to play against if you were on any kind of interact. I mean, if you didn't have blue in your deck, it's just, I mean, you just lose to it because you don't have any way to counter the Rhinos. But the thing, the line that it plays on, because I've been playing Murktide for a while now, what you would plan on having happen was you needed to, if they cast Violent Outburst at the end of your turn, you knew they had a Shardless Agent in their hand. Because if they Violent Outburst at the end of your turn, you have to have Counterspell for the Rhinos. And then if you counter that, then they just untap, play Shardless Agent, and then they get Rhinos anyway. So the only out you have to it is you have to have Counterspell for the Violent Outburst at the end of your turn, and then you have to have Force of Negation for the one they play on their turn. So that's 3 cards at minimum plus 2 mana that you have to have to even survive to their 2, plus the 8 other copies in their deck that still do the same thing. So it that's from the Murktide side of things, and you were on the Scam side of it, and even then I feel like it would have felt miserable for you.
Yeah, it was all, and even when Scam was at full power, that was still the second or third most played deck in the format. It was the only thing that was strong enough to beat the Scam deck at full power when it had Fury, and it had Fury of its own. But arguably, I think that Violent Outburst should have probably gone around when they were trying to make the format more stable, because that deck was already still up there.
So I think it's pretty. I think that Rhinos is as it stands right now, is a fine deck to have in Legacy. And that's where that deck is going to probably continue to thrive, or at least just become some kind of archetype that you can play, because you can very easily play Rhinos in Legacy with all the rituals and spirit guides, and but very in that deck. Yeah, it is a very different deck, but it feels a lot more manageable to play against.
Because of the presence of Force of Will and Daze.
Yeah,
we talked about it. We talked about it in detail, but like the reason why Legacy is able to thrive and all that is because of the presence of Force of Will and Daze.
Yeah.
So, because you can do some busted stuff, but can you pay the one for Daze? No. Okay. Well, too bad.
Yeah,
there's a reason. Like one of the most common phrases is, do you have it?
So. Yeah, and I think it's perfectly fine in Legacy. I don't really see it getting nuked in that format at all. But yeah, in Modern, I am 100% on board. It needed to go.
What do you think about the unban of Ponder and Vintage? The format we all play, huh?
Ooh,
I'm so glad
somebody's enjoying it. Yeah,
they
enjoyed it at the 4 seasons. Or no, the 4 seasons was before. Yeah, it was before the ban. No, that was last weekend. So
I'm sure there were dozens of people that were so stoked when that got I should. Yep. I shouldn't shit on like Vintage players. Like, I mean, it seems like a very fun format to play if you have the money.
Yeah, if I had the cards and like $5 million and all that, yeah, I'd probably be doing. If I had power, I would probably sell it and buy a house.
Yeah. It like helps for like the online format, right? Like people
like
play
to
online, and when it comes to that format, I just almost exclusively think of it as being an online, a Moto format.
Kind of like Timeless or anything like that. It's just
exactly.
It's a fun form. I would like to do it on the channel one day, because we normally do Legacy, Modern, Pioneer, Standard, and all that. I would like to experiment with some stuff like that. We've done Vintage Cube before in the past, which is kind of
that's always fun.
Yeah, that one's always fun. I think it would be fun to do a Vintage one, but the thing is, like, I don't know anything about vintage. So
Yeah,
I'd
that's
rather.
even better, man. You just
Yeah.
net deck something and then see how well you do without knowing anything about the format.
Yeah,
I'd
I have.
probably a deck that I could like feasibly get, which unfortunately that would be like Dredge, and I don't like Dredge as much.
Mhm.
So I did look at one deck. It was the Xerox deck. It's basically you play things like Monastery Mentor, and you just play your Moxen and all that.
Yeah, I've thought about that, and like if I ever land it big and just have mountains of disposable income that I could throw at this card game, I would be tempted just to just ball out and just get like the most expensive vintage deck, which I think is Ravager Shops, that just plays like a full set of the Mishra's Workshops and then like all the Moxes. I kind of look at it as like a go big or go home type thing. And
I'm still trying to get a down payment for a house, and
yeah. No, obviously.
I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on
this vintage talk is making me depressed.
No.
I don't know if I ever mentioned it on the podcast before, but did I ever tell you about the vintage player at Eternal Weekend? So I wasn't here for it. I actually saw it at a distance. I saw like 3 guys diving down like near the front. I said, "What the heck is going on there?" One of our friends apparently was right next to this guy. And apparently what it was a guy that had not a vintage deck, vintage decks, multiple decks where he didn't have to switch things out. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I come here every year and I always do this." So what he did was he grabbed 3 cards from his vintage deck, threw them on the ground and said whoever gets them can have them. And literally they dove for the cards.
Oh, man. Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, I was crazy. Like, oh my god, dance monkeys, dance!
It's like Mr.
Who is
Beast.
This Rothschild that is causing chaos in the Magic community.
That would be such an. I'm sorry, but that would be such an epic thumbnail. Can you imagine like Mr. Beast at Eternal Weekend or something? I got it. I gotta step back from my mic. I just bought 30 vintage decks, and I'm going to sell it. I'm going to give it away for free to all of these players.
How are you still peeking out the mic?
I know. I tried to.
It's so fun. It's insane. I actually can't believe that.
Do the complete
Mr. Beast on TikTok and go no, and then they go to your opponent and they just hand him a Mox Ruby.
Like, I follow him.
Yeah, I literally, as soon as I saw those TikToks, I'm like, it's never gonna happen to me. No, but just in case, I just followed him on everything.
Yeah, sure. Just do it.
That's what he wants.
I've got
your time will come.
That might actually be the I'm going to see if I can find like a Mr. Beast cutout and put it over like Eternal Weekend, like him.
Oh yeah, the face that he makes there.
It's always great. I think my favorite thumbnail of Mr. Beast is when he cured all those blind people, and it's just that face.
Oh yeah.
Child. It's like the most dystopian thing that I think I've ever seen on YouTube.
Someone oh man, this is getting way off topic, but it's just wrong. Mr. Beast, there's I think I told you, Will, about this. There's a Google Chrome plugin you can download that if you're on YouTube, it puts a random Mr. Beast like a picture of him and it puts it on every thumbnail of every video you're looking at. So people are like looking at like documentaries about like Charles Manson or something like that. There's Mr. Beast like do it like this to like some serial killer or something. It's the greatest thing. There are some bad ones. Like Mr. Beast looking all hyped, like right next to like the atom bomb or something.
I'm sure he loves it, man.
Oh man, he's got enough money. He doesn't need to care about anything. Oh my god! But
yeah, but that's what I think about when I think of vintage players now. I think of that guy. Just throwing 3 cards like dance,
poor people.
They're like, oh good, I can finally play Ponder now.
Oh god.
Yes, that's what was keeping me off the format, the restrictions of Ponder. Yep.
So to kind of rope this back to the Violent Outburst Ban. So the
To the middle class format, yes.
So
formatted to people.
Now that Violent Outburst is gone, that effectively has just neutered the deck and living in, as you very passionately put it.
It's neutered the deck kind of like Scam was neutered, in my opinion, where it doesn't have like a super broken aspect of it that no other deck has the ability to do. But
I now have to play on
the Ardent Plea was already like
the Ardent
getting played over like some of those. Like still has the 8 that it still has the 8 Cascade combo essentially, or non-bow if you even want to call it that. And now it's like now that they are not tied down with Violent Outburst, now they're able to explore more options and more avenues. I think adding
some lists running 5-color, playing basically Omnath with Rhinos.
And I mean they get access to like cards like Solitude and really good options like that. I don't think that the deck is going to be still around. Obviously, it's not going to be as powerful or broken, and you don't have the same play patterns.
I mean,
but I kind of like it when they do stuff like that, where they realize that people still want to play their decks and their cards, but there's an aspect of the deck that's just like way too good, and they single out that aspect, and then just take that out, and you still have a deck.
Yeah, imagine if they just countered Crashing Footfall.
So I have the Google viewer actually up on my end, and I it's funny you said Ardent Play. So Ardent Play, for anybody who doesn't know, in which case I don't blame you, it is a 1 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue enchantment that has Cascade and it has Exalted. That's literally all it does. It just is an Exalt. It gives your creatures. Whenever a creature you control attacks by itself, it gets +1/+1. That's all it does. It spiked in price. I'm looking at the chart of it. It was $2, pushing $3 for the longest time. You can see the spike as it just went through the roof on March 9th. It's just like normal. And then there was a little bit of a rise because people are like thinking, oh, this is probably going to get banned. And then after the ban, it's up to like 13, 15. It's sitting at 16 right now. It's just like that.
My favorite thing that I've seen is, let's say that, you got little Timmy wanting to join in Modern, and, he's trying to figure out, what deck he wants to play. And you mentioned that there's a ban list. Can you accurately describe to him why the card that gives creatures +1/+0, why that's banned in a format
and cascades into a
a 0 mana card or whatever?
Few cards that it's just like, I get, it's like, oh yeah, you can easily like see like why some of these cards are banned. Mental Misstep, Mox Opal, Oko, all that broken stuff. And then you get cards like Violent Outbursts. It's just funny. It's just funny how game's been evolving.
That people sometimes just forget like how busted instant speed effects are.
Yeah.
Like having an effect at instant speed makes not just doubles the power level of card, probably triples or quadruples the power level of a card. Imagine like Supreme Verdict or Wrath of God effect. Now make that same effect except at instant speed. How absolutely broken is that?
Up the Beanstalk will be another funny one to be like, why the frick is this card banned?
Not related to a ban, but I do distinctly remember when I first got into the game around like 2012, 2013, I, for the life of me, could not figure out why Dark Confidant was $90, because in my mind it was just a bad card. It was like it makes me lose life. Why would I want to lose life? That's what kills me. So yeah, no, my tiny brain would have exploded trying to understand that reasoning for sure. But so in terms of so Rhinos and Living In still probably going to be present, but definitely not as good as they were before. However, the thing that people are talking about is Yawgmoth is probably set to dominate the format from the rumblings that I've been hearing, just because that deck is fully intact and it's just so good.
I think it depends on how prevalent Rhino stays, because the only thing keeping Yawgmoth back was kind of Rhinos, but it's gonna be rough. I feel like the bans so far have been, hey, let's take Scam out. Oh no, Rhinos is good. Let's take them out. Oh no, Yawgmoth's gonna be banned. Let's ban. Oh no, we gotta ban Young Wolf now.
Yeah, I know. Like,
people why that card's banned.
I don't think that there's anything that you can really take out of
Yawgmoth
besides like the namesake card that really keeps it from being
maybe
as
Agatha
powerful as it is.
That card's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, but why would you ban Agatha? That's like more of the same thing. Essentially, that's essentially just extra copies of Yawgmoth and Gris that they have.
And Gris, he's too confusing and makes judge calls scary.
It's like a really messed up game of Jenga or something that just keeps going. It's just like as soon as you remove one thing that's definitely the problem for the format, then another thing just climbs on top of it and nothing can really touch it.
Still, a lot of people, they're not even touching Modern until MH3 comes out. So
I know, yeah. And I think that it's kind of clearing the way for like the things in MH3 to come out, because if MH3 comes out and then Rhinos is still like the best thing to be doing in Modern, then that's still a little disheartening that they printed all these new cards and like.
You know what my opinion is on the MH3 is? I feel like what they're gonna do is they're gonna take a lot of the commander cards that are commander exclusives and put them in the Modern.
Ooh, you know what? That's a good point, because they do have that 1/3 mana
Lelia or whatever.
Yeah,
that's my thought. I think they're gonna take cards from like Commander Masters and all that stuff, and I think they're gonna put it into MH3, just legalize it.
That would be cool. That would be interesting.
I think that would be very interesting.
I think
bring the Kappa in, please.
Yeah,
he did nothing wrong. He's done nothing wrong. Yeah, bring True Name in. So
I was thinking about that actually, but I don't even know if True Name would be as good as Cryptic Coat. Honestly, Cryptic Coat is
I know, right?
Really so good. That's really cool. I need to get some of those actually. So that was the tongue-in-cheek kind of joke that I keep seeing going around. Is like, oh, you don't like Modern? Rotation happens in a couple of months. Just wait for that, for Modern to rotate.
Yeah. That's the only time the format gets affected is like the Horizon sets and ban list.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to keep a positive outlook on it. I'm excited to see what they do. Like, I mean, surely to Jesus in heaven that they've like figured out by now, after what, 3 years of Modern Horizons, or I don't even know when it started. Was it 2021 when Modern Horizons first came out?
No, it was before collector's packs. Remember that.
Well, in any case, just the year after year or set after set of Modern Horizons, just like printing, just defining Modern as soon as it comes out. I feel like they've got to have a notion at this point that you need to have a little bit of foresight with that.
Yeah, you can't be just too busted with it. Like we understand that it has to be a little bit more powerful than like the average standard set, but it can't
legalize Arkham's Astrolabe. It did nothing wrong.
Most busted thing. It might be fine now, honestly. Who knows? Or maybe I'm just, maybe I just don't remember.
You can play Blood Moon without mountains. So it didn't matter.
So the official, I go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
I was just going to say the official thing that I agree. I think that anybody who is listening that may be thinking about getting into Modern or buying into a deck, unless you absolutely can't get a deck any other way, like if there's a tournament you want to go to, if you can't borrow a deck, or if you can borrow a deck, if that avenue is open to you, you might want to just do that and just wait till Modern Horizons 3 comes out, which is just in a few months, like 3 months from now. So like it's not forever, and we're coming up on Pioneer season anyway, so you don't need a Modern deck really right now if you're wanting to stay in the competitive sphere.
You gotta follow Outlaws of Thunder Junction.
Oh yeah, Outlaws.
So wait, have we told you our idea for Outlaws? So SCG Atlanta is happening. It's happening the pre-release weekend of Outlaws. So two of our guys want to dress up as cowboys, and I don't know which one they went with. They were either gonna go with like the Toy Story version or the Brokeback Mountain version, and I don't know if they picked yet. I told them they need to go the Doug Dimmadome route and just get the biggest cat you can. Because imagine, we wouldn't have any issue finding him. Like, where is? Oh, there he is.
Even at the feature match table.
Freaking pillar.
If we wanted to do that, if we wanted to go with like the Toy Story route for that, I could go with Stinky Pete. That would be pretty funny.
Oh my god, you could pull off a Stinky Pete.
Do you remember Stinky?
One of the most
Pete?
Like reprehensible or irreprehensible?
Yeah, I've got Stinky Pete pulled up.
He was just one of the worst villains.
Yeah, this fat fuck right here.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was the most hated Disney villain of any franchise. There's like almost nothing redeemable about him by the end of the movie.
Yeah, I could rock that fit actually. I could do that.
Does Stinky Pete have a Lorcana card? Wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. What does he not have a card in Lorcana?
They haven't touched Pixar yet, so I don't know if they are.
Right. No, that is wow, really? Oh, interesting.
No, they've only touched like classic
Disney. Oh,
yeah, they've only done like pure Disney stuff. So they've done like the classic things, but they've also gone into like some of the newer stuff, like Raya, Last Dragon, Moana, Frozen, all that crap. So
I was about to say they have done Pixar with Moana was Pixar, wasn't she?
No, I don't think that was Pixar.
It wasn't Pixar. Huh.
No,
I want a Mike Wazowski.
That would be dope, actually.
I want to.
You know what I want? I want the Mike Wazowski, but it's the Sully meme. Mike Wazowski with the face
with the two eyes instead of one.
That's what I want. It's just like counterspell. That's all. It's just
POV. You just got counterspell.
Oh man.
Oh man, this is now the Lorcana podcast. I'm glad that Grant has a burning hatred for Lorcana, and I can't figure out why. Like,
don't worry about it.
So we'll get our Lorcana.
The magic in his heart is gone.
then their heart grew 3 sizes. No, that's Grinch. Never mind.
Grinch is the Grinch Disney.
I don't know.
I mean, at this point, everything is Disney.
No, that's Dr. Seuss.
The Grinch.
You mean like the new Grinch? I think that might be DreamWorks. If you're talking about like the new animated.
No, it was the Despicable Me people that did the newest Grinch that with Benedict Cumberbatch.
What?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh yeah, it's Universal. Yeah, he's Universal for now.
Cut that out for YouTube. Yeah. That's a bad joke for you. We're gonna get demonetized for sure for that one.
What is the Grinch? Like, how would you describe what he is? He's like a green thing elf.
Oh,
he's a who?
He is a
Brick is the Grinch. You're a who?
He's an orgy baby.
What?
What? He's
the result of a who orgy. If you pay attention to the live action Grinch, and you see how it actually started and like when the Grinch was actually like delivered, you can clearly see that they're like having like a swingers orgy at the start of the movie. It's got like they're like putting the keys in the jar and they've just got like all the start of a Grinch of a swinger orgy, and then the Grinch gets dropped off at the doorstep.
That's why he's actually mad. I was the illegitimate son of a who fuck party.
Like the greatest. That movie is like one of the greatest movies of all time.
I love that
hands
movie.
down.
Oh man.
God, when are we going to talk about magic again?
Well, we have. Hey, listen, I was having fun. We
always have fun here.
I hope whatever listeners have sat through who orgy talk are having a good time as well. I hope
this is like the ADHD podcast for
Yeah.
Magic. It's like the brain leak for Magic.
Oh, that's funny.
We were in Magic and just slowly started creeping through.
Well, the other fun. This is related to Magic, but it is funny as well. And it's this is Twitter drama, but it's
the news portion of the podcast.
Yeah,
all right.
This is Twitter drama, but I don't. This is not really hurting anybody's feelings or being malicious. It's just funny, so I don't really have trouble calling it out or talking about it because it's just silly. So Nikachu, do you have the tweet in front of you, Will, by any chance?
Yeah. So the funny thing, so David, you know who Nikachu is, right?
I'm just happy it's not Sonichu.
Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of what relates to it. The tweet, so it was basically this guy, he overheard this at the last SCG event. And it's Nikachu comes up and says, "You probably know who I am." The opponent says, "No, I don't." And Nikachu goes, "Well, once you see my deck, you'll figure it out." And then a couple of turns pass. And then the opponent goes, "Dude, I don't know who you are." Who is
I don't know
what deck did he play?
And then Nikachu responds to him was like, "Okay, so the opponent wins the die roll or whatever," and then goes pregame actions ? And then that's when Nikachu said, "Do you know who I am?" Like that. I was like, "I don't know who you are."
Jason Statham'd him.
Yeah. And it's just everyone just crapping on him, just
David, he is a Magic content creator that is known for playing Merfolk. That's like his pet deck is he loves Merfolk. He plays Merfolk every chance he can get. So that was the thing where he's like, "Oh, you know who I am?" He's like, "No, I don't."
Yeah, I mean, dude, like, so many people play this game. It's not all die hard. Some people just like to have fun.
Yeah. It's so funny. What it reminded me of those memes with Tony Hawk, where it's like an existential crisis where like have you heard of those? Where like
I don't think so. I'm trying to remember.
Everybody knows who Tony Hawk is, but whenever
they don't know what he looks
they don't know what he looks like. Like like the story he posted on Twitter one time was like he was at a skate park and this kid, like a 12-year-old kid or something, came up to him and said, "Hey, can you take a picture of me doing a jump or something?" And the guy said, Tony Hawk said, "Sure." And kid said, "What's your name?" And Tony said, "Oh, my name's Tony." And then the kid said, "Huh, like Tony Hawk," and then rolled away.
Yeah.
There's so many of those.
His Twitter used to be filled with them.
Great. The game isn't popular anymore. They don't make any more. Wait, do they make more Tony Hawk?
They haven't been recently. I know they used to talk, he used to talk all the time about how much money he made off those games.
Even in those games, you don't see his face. You see like a rendition.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater or whatever. Oh my god,
like,
those games
he's kind of become like Tom Clancy now, or like he's like, I'm just going to make money off of people using my name for their shit now. But no, love Tony Hawk. If you ever Tony Hawk's existential crisis is so good. Those memes are so great. But it reminded me of the Nikachu thing where like you it's very humbling where you make a name for yourself and you're like a celebrity in your own sphere on the internet. But then when you go, especially when you go play somewhere that's still within your audience, you're nobody. You're just some guy. It's so great.
You know who I am? No. Yeah. Who are you?
Primarily, and he's like primarily online, right? I assume, right? So that's even.
Yeah.
He used to make these posts all the time. You've probably watched one of his videos where he'd kind of explain like magic drama and stuff like that, and like explain some stuff like the God, what are some of the famous calls? Because I know he would like show some of them.
So like a couple of his highest viewed ones. I think the one that he did on famous MTG cheaters is like sitting at like 800K views or something. Like, so he's up there. Like he brings in good numbers view wise.
Yeah, especially for the Magic community.
Yeah,
so.
for a niche community like Magic, like getting like above in the hundreds of thousands of views is a big success. Like, it's not like command like the Command Zone numbers, but it's still really good for just an independent content creator. But it
he's got a video. His biggest one was 1.6 million views.
Oh, that is really good. Yeah.
There's a few there's one where he checks out the Alex Bertoncini videos of the extra lands, explore again things. Just him, like, just seeing. There's some where there's a video where he's it's kind of like a Pawn Stars type thing. It's one of the roadshow videos where they bring in Magic cards and she's got a Black Lotus, and it's like one of those. It's just like, I just found these. You're trying to tell me this is worth this, and then it's just like reaction stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of React content, which is fine. Like, I mean, there's definitely an audience for that.
And there's the famous video of that guy table over too, and all that stuff.
So I like Nikachu. I'm subscribed to him, and I check him out every once in a while. But that thing was just too funny to not.
It's just like a humble thing or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
That's
like,
fair.
Who are you?
Somebody's got to put you back in your veins. And I don't follow him. And after this, I still intend not to follow him. So take that, Nikachu. If you're watching this,
do you know?
Be another person. No idea.
A lot of pros before, and they're all like, most of them are pretty cool, and they know and all that. Like, for example, like when I played Corey or whatever, I introduced myself and he introduced himself as Corey or whatever. Like, imagine if me and David were playing or whatever, and David goes, hey, I'm David. I'm like, oh, you already know who I am. Like,
it's like, come on, dude, have some self-awareness.
Yeah,
it's like, I know who you are. You're my opponent at table 20. Let's play.
I know just the most badass shit to say.
I have a fun story about that.
It's very few times we're able to say a badass line.
I won an invitational once because of something like that. Because people thought I was a different guy. So we were in the semifinals of a SCG Invitational qualifier, and like I'm shuffling up waiting on the opponent, and the opponent, like, his friend whispered something to him. I'm like, I wonder what I wonder what that was. So shuffling up, we present or whatever. I think it doesn't matter. I go first. I go Mountain Soulscar Mage, and his eyes get wide, and he looks at his friends. They told him I was a different Asian guy. They told him they thought I was a guy that only plays blue-white. So he kept a hand that was really good against blue-white with spirits.
I love it.
And I won the invitation. I got the IQ invite because of that.
It's just like, all right, next level games.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, whoops. All right,
not only not next level deck build, I'm next level identity theft.
Yeah, exactly. I just sat there. I shuffled up. I did everything I'm supposed to.
That's so great.
And if his friends just didn't say anything, he probably had a good chance.
He
was so mad at his friends. Because he was just like thinking what he's gonna play against and all that.
So speaking of invitational qualifiers, so the next season coming up is we're shifting from standard to pioneer, and does that go into, if I was trying to pull dates specifically, is it April 20th?
I think it's April 20th. I know it feeds into DC.
Okay.
If I remember right.
Yeah, that sounds right. So we're departing standard shortly. In about a month. So we're getting into Pioneer, and the format itself has actually been through some pretty turbulent changes from what I've seen. So Rakdos midrange has basically been replaced by Rakdos vampires, and that deck is really sweet, actually. Being able to cheat in a Vein Ripper, that seems to be like the wombo combo you can do with that deck now. Like turn 2 Blood Tithe, turn 3 Southrn, put in a Vein Ripper. So it's very good. That was kind of like the breakout deck of the Pro Tour.
Yep.
Azorius Control is creeping up and being pretty good again, since we have the new Mana League, No More Lies, and there was another one actually. It's Phoenix. Phoenix is just ridiculous right now. It's so much fun.
No new cards, still one of the best decks in the format.
It literally got an uncommon about 8 months ago, and it made it tier 1.
People are
got friggin' Picklock Prankster, and that's all it needed.
Really did it.
It was literally not even being talked about, and then they printed one little freaking adventure-y boy, and then everything changed.
That was and that was the other thing too. I remember watching some videos. I know that Jim Davis had did a couple of videos about ban predictions, and everyone was like sure that it was going to be Violent Outburst in Modern. Like, everybody had been settled on that, but people were also highly speculating that Treasure Cruise was going to be banned in Pioneer. But
card's busted.
It is. It's really good. I have been playing basically on my phone whenever I have downtime or I'm just bored. I just want to get a Magic fix, and I've just been playing Pioneer, or excuse me, Explorer. I've been playing Explorer Phoenix, and man, that deck is fun. It feels like cheating sometimes, because like
Just
you
never fails.
you
Such
can-
a low fail rate.
yeah, you can be mana flooded and just have, as long as you have like several Phoenixes in your yard and you draw one Consider, you're back in it a lot of times. Because I had like one time where like my opponent was like at 9 or something, and I was top deck, and I was mana flood. I drew a considered, got a Treasure Cruise, cast a Treasure Cruise, drew a Galvanic Iteration, another Treasure Cruise, and something else. Then I Galvanic Iteration, cast another Treasure Cruise, drew 6 cards, and then it was like, here's 3, 6, 9, 12 damage.
That's all legal in Pioneer.
That's a Pioneer legal deck, and the deck is really not that bad. Like money wise, it's well, I say that
it's like,
right. It's not.
The deck's like less than $300 or so, and like the most expensive thing in the deck is like Ledger Shredder.
Yeah,
or maybe even the lands at that point.
Yeah, the lands. Spire Bluff Canal is pretty expensive.
It's like not even $15. That's what I'm saying. Like we're trying to like think of cards that are expensive, and that's as high as it goes.
Yeah, and if you want to
rack those mid range, that deck's like $600, and over half of it.
If you're
probably more now,
and if you're thinking about building it, honestly, you could play Shivan Reef. Like, really, all you're looking for is just untapped blue mana.
That's an untapped land.
So you could, if you're thinking about building Phoenix, it's really not that bad on the wallet, and you can't. There are more inexpensive things you can play in place of a lot of the spells in it. But it's really good. It's really fun.
What can I play instead of Treasure Cruise? That card's too expensive for me.
Yeah, the most busted card in the deck is like pennies. That's what's so funny.
Yeah, looking at that and looking back, I feel like Expressive Iteration died for the sins of Treasure Cruise at a certain point. But that deck is just that deck, even in when it was like good in Modern, when it had Faithless Looting and everything, all that deck, and we've learned about Phoenix, all it needs is just a critical mass of cantrips, and it's going to be a really, really good deck. And after getting the Sleight of Hand, which they were playing in a Modern version too, that card is like a modern level card. It just pretty much skyrocketed that deck to be way, way more consistent. At the Pro Tour, I think that was probably like everybody expected it to be the most played deck in the room, next to maybe Lotus Field, or at least those were the 2 decks that were being targeted. And it still had one of the highest win rates of all of the decks in the while also being the most popular deck and the deck that was probably the most targeted. That's how good the deck actually is in a vacuum.
The velocity of the deck is just unbelievable. How quick it can get in. can just assemble that package. And it also has a way, in the ways that you can beat it too, with like Graveyard Hate, it has ways to play alongside that too. Like its secondary way is just to play like Young Pyromancer and Crackling Drake. And Crackling Drake doesn't give a shit where the instant sorceries are too, as long
it's
as
almost a great counter to your sideboard plan.
Yeah, so
honestly,
the deck is sick. So I think going into Pioneer season, my guess would be, if you're looking to get into the format to play Pioneer, if you have the bones to spend on it, I think Rakdos Vampires or Rakdos Midrange is a very fun deck and very good one to have a like long lasting deck to play in it. But
is there a
Phoenix
reason
is really good too.
Is there a reason Rakdos Sack fell off? I'm just kind of curious.
Control. It has a horrible control matchup.
That's fair.
I think.
I
think that's one of the main things that keeps it out, since blue white control was one of the most popular decks alongside of. There was really like four or five decks really in Pioneer that are above or close to 10%.
Yeah.
At that point, which between it's like Amalia, red black vampires now, and is it Phoenix and blue white? And I think we're starting to approach like this place where the cards they're printing in current standard are just like so much more powerful than like all of this old stuff in Pioneer.
Right.
That we need to like start assessing like how powerful is this format going to be, where I think like Modern is kind of in a place like that, where they need to assess what's the difference between Modern and like say Legacy, like what's the difference between Pioneer and like old Modern, because I would bet money that like Pioneer decks now would crush like pre-Modern Horizons Modern.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Decks.
No, I agree.
They're getting very, very powerful, especially like the vampire, this red black vampire deck, which essentially has show and tell for Gristlebrand when you really look at like how the play pattern goes.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. It's the power level of it is insane.
Yeah, so it's gonna have to start asking the question is like, do we start banning these super powerful effects, or are they just going to continue to print better and better things in standard? And I guess we'll see when it comes to Thunder Junction, like how strong, because some of those cards are looking pretty. Just with some of the little ones, they're looking pretty strong. Or at least the mechanics that they have coming out for it look pretty strong.
Yeah, I'm a believer in Tiny Bones. Like, I think that card's cool. I know I will die.
The black
on that
Ragavan.
Build. Yeah, the black.
No. I mean,
the black not so good Ragavan. I think that card.
Ragavan
cool.
at home.
Yeah, that's it's Ragavan at home. But I think it's cool. But I'm looking forward to Thunder Junction. But we'll definitely. I mean, as we go into the different season, we'll stay topical. Of course, we'll have some Pioneer leagues in the chamber too, and talk some more on it as we get deeper into the RCQ season, and we'll stay on top of that. But
I'll have my PC so that I can actually stream.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Finally, to make a redemption from that horrible first stream.
Everybody has one. It's all good.
I've never had a bad stream.
Okay. So
you make the big bucks. Yeah. Everybody's here for you anyways, Will. We all know.
Yeah, you're right.
So coming down the pipeline, I wanted to touch briefly on this too before we talk about the plans for this weekend. For anybody who's looking for bigger events to go to, SCG Con Atlanta is coming up in about a month, and we are all very excited about this. So
the hotel today. Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, SCG Atlanta is always a fun time.
This one is insane though. Like I'm pulling up the what is
The roster.
Yeah, like the list of the events.
Oh, the schedule.
Happening. Yeah, the schedule.
Okay.
See, I can't.
Mhm.
Wow, I'm having a stroke. So I have it on the Google Viewer. So they're really going all out for this. So they're doing a special on Friday, April 12th called Half Price Friday, where it's going to be 50% off entry into all the scheduled events. So they're doing a bunch of Thunder Junction events over the weekend, a lot of pre-release stuff. So if you're into limited, that's something that you could get into. There's a modern 5K on Friday that is $20 to enter, normally $40. There's a legacy 1K with an entry price of $17.50. There's a Pioneer RECQ, which I think is just RECQ. It's
you got a 5-0 league and you win.
Yep,
You get
it's
an
a
invite.
single limb.
Oh, okay.
There's a modern 10K trial for the main modern event that's happening. That's also $17. Some flesh and blood stuff. There's the big thing, which is on Saturday. There's a modern 10K. Entry is $50, which it's a premier event, so that's
pretty good.
Pretty normal. Yeah, it's definitely
And
beats the
Thunder
hell out
Junction
of
is
the.
gonna be legal.
Yep.
Yeah.
So modern 10K.
Choo-choo.
There's a CDH 5K, pre-modern
CDH
1K.
5K, what? No way. So excited.
Tell Drake Sasser.
Another modern 10K
I have
trial.
demonic consultations already. Oh, sorry, consultation, just one card. Single one.
And then on Sunday, there is
Mr. Lorcana event.
There is a Lorcana event too.
Yay, what is it?
Lorcana Core Constructed 1K.
Yay.
And then there's I think
Wait, it's only a 1K? Never mind, I'm not playing that.
I think there's
I thought it was a
another
5K.
modern 10K actually on Sunday. I think they
Is
did
there?
two. Swiss rounds based on 10s cut to top 8 playoff. I don't want to say that. I don't want to spread misinformation. They have a modern 10K listed on here twice. I don't know if that means there's two modern 10Ks or if Sunday is just day 2 of the first modern 10K.
It might be. You might be. That might be a day 2 thing.
Okay, so we'll be conservative and say that it's day 2 of the 10K. But besides that,
sorry.
There's another. I was just going to say there's another modern. I mean, there's another Legacy 1K, bunch of Thunder Junction stuff. It's packed. So and it's in the Georgia World Congress Center, which is a great venue. So it's going to be a very fun weekend for anybody that can make it out that way. For you, Will, I'm trying to see. I'm going to scan for Lorcana events because
it'd be great to share that space with DreamHack.
Yeah.
Say again, Dave.
It's going to be great to not have to share that space with DreamHack.
Oh, yeah, with dubstep thumping your head off. Yeah.
Being like the redheaded stepchild of.
There's a Legacy. There's a Lorcana 5K at same time as the 10K.
God, it's just so cool. That's just so much good stuff. This is see, when I think of SCG Con, this is what I think of. I'm actually kind of glad that SCG's dipping back into doing.
Ooh, what is this? There's an event called Value Vintage. What does that mean?
Get your ponders ready.
And then
you know what Vintage actually is unpowered? It's literally just it's the mono white initiative deck. You literally just play White Blue Adventure. That's it. That's all you do. It's great.
For the artists too, there's going to be Jeff Laubenstein, Joe Slucher, Ken Meyer Jr., Phil Stone, RK Pose, the GOAT, and Randy Gallegos. So
man, RK Pose just never takes a break.
Hey man,
he has found never takes the day off.
He has found his meal ticket with those tokens. They're
Hey, David,
he is, man. Like those tokens.
Do you know what Randy Gallegos did?
What? Oh no!
Your favorite card.
I forgot. You don't remind me. I'm so conflicted because he made that card and also Blood Tithe Harvester, and I'm like, I have a love-hate relationship with him.
He can be your angle or your devil.
Your angle or your devil.
Your angle or your devil.
Fucking love
honestly, I recognize all of them. I don't know who Joe Slutcher is, so I need to see his portfolio. Let's see what he did. He did.
One of these days, I'll leverage my Magic career to like meet Aaron Hansen of Game Grumps.
That'd be dope.
He loves this game. Oh,
Well, Atlanta looks sweet. So if you can find your way out there, I think it'll be a very fun weekend. We're looking forward to riding again with the goons and playing some Magic that weekend. And if you're in the area and you see us, feel free to say hey. We're always down to meet some listeners.
Friendly, I'm not friendly at all. No
But,
way.
We're coming up.
I'll always say hey.
We're coming right up on an hour, so I just kind of wanted to cap it off by saying, this weekend I'm going to do my best to have this uploaded at least by Thursday night. This weekend on Saturday, Gear Gaming it's Gear Gaming Birmingham, correct?
Yeah.
Or is it? Okay. Gear Gaming Birmingham is having their standard RCQ, and the owner has graciously allowed us to stream the event. And we are going to be doing some live paper Magic coverage, which is always fun and always a treat to be able to do. It's so much fun on our end, and it's exciting. We've talked with the owner, and it's really cool for the players too. A lot of them are, there's just something about being on stream or having the opportunity to be on stream and play live to an audience. It just kind of gives it a more gravitas to it, and just makes it seem like it's just a lot of fun for everybody. So we're very excited to do that. So check us out on Twitch if you can, if you want to watch some paper Magic, if you're not playing in it, and just come hang out with us. But
yeah, please do.
I think that will cap us off because we are right at an hour, and
we actually got. Don't tell me we're actually getting done on time.
We are, yeah.
No way,
we're at an hour and 1 minute. So this is good.
I almost don't even believe it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that's some pre-show talks.
We can have more topics real quick. Here we go.
Guess what card I have in my hand right now?
What's y'all's favorite Fallout?
I'll leave that. Huh?
What's y'all's favorite card that came out on the Fallout set? There you go.
The Fallout set? I don't know anything from that set.
Wasteland?
Maybe.
I think there's some cool art reprints in it. Like the Path to Exile looks sweet. The Wasteland's sweet.
There's a Path to Exile.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
opened all of those packs and you never opened a Path to Exile?
Well, to be fair, it might be in the Commander
Grove like 9 times, but we never opened any of that.
That's insane. You said it was a special art? Or well, I know they all have special art, right?
So it's not one of the frames. It's like it's like the regular frame, but the art of it is like a power armor mask that's like been fallen in the same. It looks cool. I think it's sweet. But
you look cool.
Thank you. Appreciate
it.
But anyway, I think that's going to do us for tonight. So we'll go ahead and call it for this evening. Gentlemen, it has been a very fun episode. Always enjoy talking with y'all, and we all enjoy talking with y'all, the viewers, and hanging out with y'all. Glad that y'all could tune in and chill with us and hear us talk about Who orgies and crashing footfalls and all kinds of wacky stuff. So I guess. So with all that being said, to quote Josh, the best part about Magic is the gathering, and we will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Peace out, guys.
Hey, y'all.
Can't wait to see you.
I don't.